What's up, everyone? Champet's back again for another UFC predictions video. This time for UFC 315, Belal Muhammad, almost forgot the name, just kidding. Belal Muhammad versus Jack Della Maddalena. Very excited for this card. More so, even more so excited for me for the co-main event. If you've been watching my videos or anything like that and saw I made like a start of the year videos like reviewing last year and also talked about stuff for this year. My most hyped fight of the year is on this card. It's the co-main event, Valentina Shevchenko versus Manon Fiorot. Very, very excited for that fight. And we will get into that one. We will absolutely get into that one. I'm super excited to break that one down because I have a lot to say about that one, for sure. So, of course, as always, let's recap what we did last week. But because of the weird thing, like I'm obviously not my normal setup. I have a different microphone for this occasion. But so we have a little bit to catch up on. In terms of betting wise on these past two cards, it's been all right. It's been all right. Like I got like smoked in some particular picks and bets, and then I got like some like pretty good calls. I didn't end up losing any money on either of these cards, but didn't really end up making too much either. So that's what you can see, and we'll just go over them really quickly. Chelsea Chandler, Jocelyn Edwards. I put super small amount of money. I wasn't like super confident in Chelsea. It's just more so a fade of Jocelyn Edwards long term. Yeah, Jocelyn Edwards looked great. Whatever. I'm not like hung up on that. It was a very small bet. I think yeah. Jacqueline Amarim I think is next. I'm trying to remember the bout order, but who cares? Amarim had that was my biggest bet on that card. Yeah. I was super confident in Amarim. She'd absolutely win that fight. And yeah, she absolutely won. It was just get a takedown. She's going to do work on top. Pretty much what the fight came down to. Amarim is so good. I love her. Randy Brown, Nicholas Dalby. Man, shout out to Randy Brown. Absolutely put it on. Nicholas Dalby, possibly KO of the year. Absolutely. Gotta give respect to Dalby. I couldn't believe he dropped Brown in round one. I was like, oh my god, what the hell, Randy? But then Randy able to bring it back, get the range, fight well. I was able to hit Amarim in like minus 3.5 as well as Randy Brown went inside the distance. That was pretty nice to get. So shout out Randy Brown for that. Michel Pereira to beat Abus Magomedov. This was a terrible bet. Man, Michel looked like a shell of himself. He didn't look like himself at all. And I mean, you can just tell from the walkout, yeah, that guy was not going to be winning the fight. I might be willing to like chalk that up to like just a really bad performance, just an off night. And maybe like we can get like good odds on him in the future, but have to be careful with that. Like he legitimately looked terrible in that fight. What else? Okay, I had a bet on Mingying Zhang. Oh, this hurts me so much. I had a bet on Smith inside the distance, Mingying Zhang rounds 2 and 3, like to win in 2 or 3. He won in round 1. That was the one because I was basically fading him winning in round 1. Yeah, he went on round 1. As you can see though, all these are 0.1s. I wasn't like ultra duper confident in it, but yeah, it is what it is with that. What else? Cameron Simon, I forgot to mention that one. He ended up losing, but honestly, I thought he was looking pretty good until they got caught by Wallmaker, who's always going to be live to land a big shot and like put someone out. So, honestly, not super angry. I played that at dog odds, but I mean, yeah, shout out to Wallmaker. Looked incredible. That was impressive to do against Skylar Cameron Simon, who is pretty durable. So, yeah, that was impressive. And then Ian Gary to beat Carlos Pratas. I was on Ian Gary. I wish I put more on it, but it's okay. I had some on minus 5.5, which hurts my soul because it was like right there. It was right there. It's like I had my minus 5.5 bets have been like so close this year. Like Lerone Murphy off the top of my head. Who else? Lerone Murphy and Gary. Like those are the two ones that mainly stand out as like minus 5.5 main events. It's like, man, so close. Honestly, I thought the Lerone Murphy one really should have hit. The Gary one, I get why he didn't hit. Round 4, you can absolutely give the protest. Round 5, you can give the protest. I thought Gary was fine, like for the most part. Like he looked incredible. I just think the short notice aspect got to him as the fight went on, and he got pretty tired, especially with the game plan he was going with. But I don't think he was really like super hurt in that whole process. So yeah, shout out to Ian Gary. And then we can go over next week's card, like how not next week's, but the week after. I had some insanely good reads this card, and one like terrible one. Get like what was it? Man, Bo Nickel really let me down. I had a lot of confidence in Bo Nickel. He let me down. It is what it is. But I will say, this is perhaps my greatest read ever. Juliana Miller to beat Ivana Petrovic. I don't know. Not many people were really like keen on Miller in this fight. They really weren't. And everything I said going into that fight, I think pretty much played out to be true. If I'm being honest. Like I did mention, like if Juliana Miller didn't even get better, she can absolutely still win. I think she could have won this fight in like the past when she was like still like not as good. But I will say I did see some improvements in Juliana Miller, and I think some people are gonna not believe that at all. But I will say this: she's not as much of a punching bag as she was before. I thought her head movement was way better. Is it good? No, I wouldn't say it's good, but like she wasn't getting hit by everything. Where Luana Santos literally hit every single shot on Juliana Miller. There's improvements there. The striking's still not good. The grappling's always been really good. The fight IQ, I will also say, improved. It is improved by Juliana Miller. She knew top position. I have to get top position. I have to get top position. She dropped round one after fighting a really good round, fighting smart, wrestling Petrovic to try and get Petrovic tired, which is a big point I mentioned in my video. Where it's like Ivana Petrovic gasses. She gasses. And like I like Miller the longer the fight goes. And man, that was the case, man. That was the case. Ivana Petrovic gassed. She couldn't really do much. And Juliana Miller's able to find positions, get the takedowns. She won it. Made me super proud. I'm very happy for Juliana Miller. Get that moment with her rest in peace and her grandma. That's what I'm trying to say. Get that moment on the microphone. Get her first UFC win. I'm so happy for her. Seriously, I'm really, really happy for her. Not just for like betting wise, but like just as like a person. Like that's just such a big milestone for her. Hope for the best for her. Don't fight Carly Judy's Juliana Miller. That will go really bad. I beg for your sake, do not do it. Fight Eunice Dubin. Fight Eunice Dubin. you will be good. You will be just fine if you fight Dubin. You will take her back, sub her, no problem. That's a finish. And go from there. Just keep getting better. Keep training at that gym in Spokane, Washington. Yeah, just keep improving, and maybe you can do something. I'm rooting for her. What else did I have a bet on? Quang Lee versus Gaston Bolanos. I wish I put more on this. Yeah, Quang Lee looked amazing. Fought smart. It made me so proud. Took the back. Gaston Bolanos just didn't have the grappling, and I wish I put more on this, but at least I had a bet on it to begin with. I was very, very proud of that. For Quang Lee, I was very, very happy for him. Made it look pretty easy. I had 0.1 unit on Ryan Loder. Very, very small. I will say this. When he hurt Loder and Loder got up and he was surprisingly like not defending well. I wouldn't say defending well, but he's staying in there. You know, he was staying in there. And while he was staying in there, I was like, oh shoot, but Bakoyev could gas. And I think if Loder got out of that sequence, was able to get out of that sequence, I think he was like super live to win that fight. So honestly, I'm not even that mad at the bet I put. Yeah, I got knocked out. It is what it is. But I do think Bakoyev's a fade in the future. I really do, and it makes me sad because I really grown to like the guy as you see his social media is like blowing up and stuff. That guy's really funny. He's really funny, but it is what it is. I think he's a fade. I do like that he's training at ATT. It's a really good gym, but yeah, he's just. I don't think he's that good. Just being real with that. Siri City versus Cameron Smotherman was with City. He won pretty clearly. I thought he would win inside the distance, but alas, not the case. But City just had more tools. Like I mentioned in my breakdown, he just had more tools and was going to be able to work it out like that. Like win have bigger moments as a result, and go from there. Um, I mean, that's about it. Smotherman was just one-dimensional with the boxing for the most part. Didn't really have much to offer. So, he did get pretty good get-ups. I thought he was coming on more in round 3. But, man, yeah, City. I thought City did a great job at winning the fight. And Bo Nickel. Bo Nickel ruined my night. Not ruined my night. I want to say that because I still had a good night. Not in here necessarily, but like in my betting accounts and stuff like that. I had some more money on Juliana Miller. Did have more money on Bo Nickel, but that didn't hit. But still was up overall. But still, like the main plays I would give out to people track. Bo Nickel kind of screwed me. That's on me for trusting Bo Nickel that much. I did say in my breakdown that like this fight can play out in many different ways. Just that I think Bo Nickel is just there's more ways for him to win, and like that's how it's gonna be. It happened. It just happened that RDR had fought a fight in the way that he needed to fight to win. RDR fought oh my god, I cannot speak. Spell. What the hell was wrong with me? Magnificently. RDR came in with a great game plan. Attack the body in the clinch. Be the bigger guy. That was like a great game plan. Bo Nickel going for the guillotine was very bad. That was a very bad decision. I think part of it was just trying to get RDR out of there and like is being tired and in that whole sequence. You know, you don't necessarily make the best decision making when you're under that environment. And that was a terrible decision. And RDR's top pressure on top, it's definitely not making Bo Nickel feel any better. Knees were nasty. Bo Nickel in the last sequence threw like a big, like was it overhand or hook, and then just gets kneed in that process. Oof. Like that was rough. And yeah, great win by RDR. I think Bo Nickel will get better from this, but yeah, that was like a great performance by RDR. I completely underestimated him. So I mean, what can I say? Like hats off to him, honestly. But yeah, like I mean, I'm not that mad. At the very least, I had positive. There's a learning experience to be made, and the learning experience is not with a loss too. So I think that I'm not going to be like too mad with that sort of thing. If it was a losing night, Juliana Miller didn't come through, I would not be very, very happy myself. But there's a learning lesson in that, and I think I'm going to show that this week, where it's like I'm not going as hard on specific bets as a result. So yeah, I don't think I'm going to go through all the fights from those other cards. Let me just bring up Tapology. I'm not going to go through all those other fights, but you can see 9 out of 14, 10 out of 12. I did pretty all right on those other cards. Just bring them up. I'm not going to go through them. Romero, I wasn't confident in him. Blackshear, he looked good. Gutierrez looked good. Elder looked pretty good. Schnell, fun fight. Ikram did what I had to do. I went with Giga. I this is one of those where it's like I had zero confidence, and felt pretty right for that. I wasn't mad at ultimately picking Giga because I thought it was pretty close, to be honest. Especially like with how round 1 went. I gave that to Giga. I wasn't mad at ended up picking Giga at the end, even though he lost. Not too mad about that. And then on Sandhagen Figueiredo, almost perfect card. Miller, Peterson, that was easy. Jillian Robertson, I have to say this. Jillian Robertson, I know it was Marina Rodriguez's like retirement fight, so I think you have to mention that. But it's really, really, really impressive to get Marina Rodriguez out of there. Really impressive. And I think in my breakdown, I was like, Jillian Robertson's not going to sub Marina Rodriguez. If she's going to like get a finish, it's going to be TKO. Felt pretty proud of that. Feel pretty proud about that. So yeah, shout out Jillian Robertson. Incredible. Like I love both these girls, Marina Rodriguez, Jillian Robertson. Shout out to Marina Rodriguez on retirement. Hope she does well. Yana Santos beating Miesha Tate. That made me feel good, especially considering like I don't think Miesha Tate's been good at all since coming back. Like even the Marion Renault fight, she did not look good. Lauren Murphy. Oh my God. Lauren Murphy. If fight. She did not look good. I know it was down a weight class. Ketlen Vieira did not look good. It's like these fights did not look good. And Julia Avila, who's out of the door, does not look good. I went with Yana Santos as a result, and who I think is like has a pulse or something, is still somewhat all right, even though it's not necessarily like the best matchup for her. Still won. She ended up winning, so felt pretty proud about that. Mason Jones, pretty easy. Although I will say, very fun fight, except for round 3, but you can understand from Mason Jones' perspective why he did that. Montel Jackson, Danny Moore. I had to bet on that, but it was on like a parlay or whatever with Bo Nichols, so I didn't mention it. Montel Jackson looked good. Yeah, Daniel Marcos, that always bye-bye. Yeah, I don't think Marcos is that good, to be honest with you. I went with D-Rod over Ponzi. Yeah, it's about what I said. I just didn't think Ponzi is just that guy anymore. He really isn't, and I felt like that fight showed it. His chin is no more. It's no more. He's not the same guy he used to be. Talked about that one, and yeah, Sandhagen looked incredible against Figueiredo. We'll say that as well. So after that breakdown, let's get into UFC 315. I'm very excited for this card. So let's get into it. Brad Katona versus Bekzat Almakhan. This, believe it or not, is one of my favorite spots of the card. Brad Katona, I think he wins this fight. And I know people are gonna be like, oh, maybe not. I shouldn't put words in people's mouths. My bad. But oh my God, Bekzat dropped Umar. Wow. And then he got controlled for the rest of the fight and ended up losing like that. But hey, he dropped Umar. Cool. I don't think this guy's that great, to be honest with you. Brad Katona is underrated as hell. He's very underrated. I mean, if you look at these fights, you can argue he's won all of these, to be honest with you. You can argue he won against Armfield. You can argue he won against Matsumoto. Those are close fights, and that's just how Brad Katona fights. You know that what you're getting with Brad Katona. It's going to be a close fight, very, very likely, and it's going to go decision. I played it early in the week, but I think it's fine now. When I look at Bekzat's tape, I don't like the volume he has. It's just a lot of single shots, and I think with a guy like Brad Katona, he's going to probably push a pace, implement some wrestling, and is going to put in some volume. I think the volume is going to be the difference here, and that's why I really like Brad Katona in this matchup. In comparison to like some other ones, I think Brad Katona can pretty much like put it on Bekzat. Do I rate Bekzat more than Gene Matsumoto? No, I really don't, to be honest with you. Maybe a little more than some of these guys. Armfield, we'll have to think about it. Gibson, I don't want to be mean to Gibson. But man, I think Katona at home in Canada, the crowd is going to be cheering for all the stuff he's going to be doing, and because I believe he's going to be doing more, there's going to be more cheering. It helps with the judges. I think the odds are off. I think Katona should be like a small favorite, if I'm being honest with you. Katona is nice to bet as a dog as opposed to a favorite because of his margins. He always fights close, but because he fights close, you're going to want to be on the dog side of that, and I think Brad Katona is going to win. I also mentioned this. Bekzat, I've seen his training at American Top Team for this camp. And like usually that's a good thing. But I will say this. He's only been there for like 6 weeks. Remember my breakdown with Carly Giudice versus Eunice Dubin? There was a similar argument like people were making with Dubin, which like, oh man, she's training with Miranda Maverick and Rose Namajunas and those girls in Colorado who are really good. She's gonna get better. Cool. Maybe, but like the problem is training camps or not where people get better. They prepare for you for a fight. You get in shape and do all that stuff. You not get better during camps. When you stay at a camp after a fight's over, there's no fight you're preparing for. You're just learning and getting better. That's where you make the major improvements and get better. Bekzat just going there for like 6 weeks to like probably acclimatize to the time zone and stuff like that. I don't think that's going to be him getting better, if I'm being honest with you. Maybe the ATT roids is a very real thing. Like get that ATT water. It's a very real thing. I said that again. Sure. Okay. Maybe that's fair. But I don't think it's going to matter here against Katona. I think Katona is going to be able to put it on Bekzat and win as a result. I do have a bet on this, and I'm riding on the Katona train. Not going crazy with it, but because, again, Brad Katona's margins are not necessarily amazing, but yeah, I think Brad Katona's gonna win this fight. Daniel Santos versus Young Lee. I like Lee here. I'm trying to think what method, decision or KO. I'll go KO. This is gonna be fun. This is gonna be a fun fight. The size difference is ridiculous here. I think that's just too much to overlook here, especially when you look at face-offs. And also, in weigh-ins, Daniel Santos looked terrible at weigh-ins. I know he missed weight at first, and then he had to cut more. Then he came back and made weight. Still looked terrible in that process. Up a weight class, having a tough weight cut. Now in comparison to Young Lee's are just a massive athletic monster at 145 who can crack. We're talking about a guy who cracked Hyder Emil, and like Hyder Emil's like eyes went to the back of his head. Sure, it's Hyder Emil. He'll be able to take it and come right back, which is really dumb by Lee to keep brawling with Hyder Emil. But also, I think that's a learning experience for Lee. Don't do that again. Please, for the love of God, fight technical. Because if you fight technical, you can beat these dudes. You can beat these dudes. I think Lee has a chance to really put on Santos, who I don't think is even the biggest like 135er to begin with, and now going up at 145. I think it's just a difference there that like you can't ignore. I have a pretty nice bet on Lee. I like him to win this fight a lot. Oops, I forgot to change the mode. I like him to win this fight a lot, and yeah, I think he's gonna get it done. Marc-Andre Barriault versus Bruno Silva. This hurts me. This hurts me so much. I love both these guys too, so like it really does hurt me. But I have to go Barriault. I'm gonna go decision. It's a hard decision, but like I mean, I guess Bruno Silva's kind of been going decision in most of these fights. I just think Bruno Silva's just gonna be trying to just hold on and survive. Bruno Silva on the scale. I don't want to be mean, but he looked fat. Like he didn't look like he really cares anymore. I'm just being honest with you, and it hurts me because I love Bruno Silva. I love this guy. It's just it's different now. This guy is not the same guy as he was. I remember him being in like really good shape against Pereira. Now he looks nothing like himself. You know it. It hurts me so much. I love Bruno Silva so much. I love Powerbar too. I just think Powerbar is really just gonna put it on him and put a pace. I know it's a worry trusting Powerbar's chin at this point. Getting put out cold by Dustin Stoltzfus. I was making fun of it, like, because I know at the time when that KO happened, there was the old glove or the new glove, whatever you want to call them. It was the gloves that like people were saying had no KO. You don't get KOs or whatever. You don't get anyone knocked out from them. And Dustin Stoltzfus got a KO with them, and everyone else wasn't. So I just kept saying like, oh, Dustin Stoltzfus got some crazy knockout power. No, he doesn't. He doesn't. I thought that glove narrative was dumb, but tangent. Besides the point. Barriault's chin is a worry. And it is a worry here against Bruno Silva, who can crack. But when I saw that weigh-in, I was like, it's not. I already know it's not going to happen. I'm willing to take a risk on this one and go with Barriault in front of his home crowd to make a statement. Maybe not make a statement, but like to get a win in front of the fans. Yeah, I played the money line. I have, was it 2.96, like about 3 units on him. It's just. It feels like Bruno Silva is kind of like throwing fights at this point. He's not fighting the same way. He's not the same guy anymore. And it hurts me so much because I love Bruno Silva. But I think the Montreal guy is going to get it done. I think Powerbar, if he gets out of round 1 especially, I think it's just the pace and cardio advantage is just too high here. And I think it's just going to be too much for Bruno Silva to handle. So, yep. Give me Marc-Andre Barriault. Navajo Sterling versus Ivan Urslan. I'm not as confident as a lot of people are in this fight, but I am going to go Navajo Sterling. I'm going to go decision. I'm going to say that. I was at Navajo's first fight in the UFC against Tuco Tokos in Tampa. I was there live and I got to see the guy, and even I saw him at the hotel. Navajo Sterling is one of the biggest human beings I have ever witnessed. He's huge. I remember seeing him not that far apart from Vitor Petrino. He kind of dwarfed him, which is crazy because Vitor's a big dude himself. He's a big dude. So I'm like, oh my god, this guy's ginormous. And I think that's gonna be such a big factor here against Urslan. But I will say he is kind of green. He is green. I will say some things I liked in the Tuco Tokos fight that I liked a lot. Maturity. You can tell Navajo Sterling has a lot of maturity already at like 6-0 in the UFC. Like 6-0 now in the UFC. I like that he didn't try and force a finish on Tukos. He was like, okay, I'm fighting my fight, and if it comes, it comes. If it doesn't come, it's okay. So, actually, let me look at the odds for this. I'm so curious what the odds for like finishes. Because if it's like nasty, like even because I'm gonna say this, I don't think this is the kind of guy you want to bet to get a KO at like minus money or anything like that. I don't think it's worth it because he's not gonna be forcing anything. The other guy has to force, and I know a guy like Urslan is willing to force it. He's going to be trying to force things to happen, and like that's where Navajo can catch him. But Urslan is pretty like durable, surprisingly. Like he'll get hurt and then he'll survive or something like that. Like that's just how Urslan is. But I think it'll be similar to that Tukos fight, but like just a lot less wrestling. Is going to be more boxing from Urslan trying to hit Navajo, but Navajo's going to keep his range and land big shots, I think. I do think he's very green though, and I just like at the price tag, I just can't. I feel like I can't trust him like at this number. Maybe the minus 3.5. I don't hate it because honestly, I think he's just gonna be in control the whole time. To be honest with you, but it's like I refuse to bet that straight up. I'm gonna probably parlay that with something, and it's like 'cause I don't want to have just all liability on this dude. And like have like a big play. It's gonna be a small play. It's gonna be I want to support Navajo Sterling. I want to be rooting for him. I think this guy has a very promising future, especially if he keeps it developing at CKB, City Kickboxing. I like the guy in the future. I think he can be really good, but it's clear he needs some time to get better and better. So, rooting for the guy, rooting for Navajo Sterling. I think he will get the win here against Urslan, but I will say tread carefully with Navajo being like super confident on him. I have this like weird feeling because Urslan's not terrible. He really isn't. I know this is a matchup like the UFC's making for a reason to be kind to Navajo, but I wouldn't be shocked if Urslan gets like an upset. I will say that. So yeah, Modestas Bukauskas versus Ion Kutelaba. I don't even know how to pick this one. I'll go Bukauskas and I'll say decision. I know Kutelaba is live to get the wrestling going. I will say, I did some look back to Modestas' tape and I was like, you know what, this guy is getting better. He is getting like a little better. I'm kind of been impressed, even though it's against like Cerquera and Prachnio. Prachnio's all right. Even though it's against those guys, you can tell like I think like he's getting better. I like the team he's at. Kutelaba looks a lot better now than he has in like a past like few fights, even before then. To be fair, against Urslan, that was not a split decision. He pretty clearly won. And Ebel Arslan, who I think is like not good at all, I will say that. But the Lins fight looked awful. It's one of those things where it's like an Ion Kutelaba letdown is gonna happen. It always happens with him. Maybe it's gonna happen sometime soon. I'm just gonna go Bukauskas, but seriously, I have zero confidence in this. I'm not putting a dime or a penny on this as of right now. Very likely not gonna have one by fight time at all. Just gonna enjoy the fight and see how it goes. But I'll go Modestas. I like the improvements he's making. I think he can keep improving and getting better. I think the range can be an asset to him, and yeah. That's why I'll go Modestas, but I'm really not confident. Jasmine Dos Vicious versus Jessica Andrade. I'm super hyped for this fight. This is going to be a crazy take, but hear me out. This could be for the BMF belt for the women's BMF. Jessica Andrade is a BMF. Like, she's the definition of women's MMA BMF. Like, I would say that about her. Whatever weight class she's willing to go, she'll throw hands, go to war. That's why we love Jessica Andrade. She'd have to be in a women's BMF fight. I think Jasmine's got a great argument for it too. Jasmine is a killer. I love her, and she's willing to go to war. She's probably not gonna like try and do that necessarily here against Jessica Andrade. That'd be pretty dumb to do so. But like she's got that dog in her. I love Jasmine. Who doesn't love Jasmine? I am gonna go Jasmine to win by KO, and let's go round 2. TKO round 2 and ground and pound. I will say this though. I see a lot of people super confident in Jasmine Justinian. I get it. You think she's gonna get takedowns and get Andrade out of there, have control and win. I get it. At this number though, I think it's just too risky with a girl as hittable as Jasmine. Jessica Andrade is absolutely one of the people who can punish Jasmine for a terrible defense. Jasmine has terrible defense. She gets hit. She's usually okay with getting hit. I know she's fought a lot of like the really tough girls in this division who like hit hard. I'd say Lipsky hits hard. Gabriela Fernandez hits hard. Forgetting there's more. Oh my god, I want to like Bueno Silva maybe, but it's like borderline. Cachoeira I'd say too. But I will say, like, in most of those fights, they weren't standing for that long. They really weren't. It was Jasmine getting the takedowns. And maybe it's the same here. But I think Jessica Andrade's takedown defense is probably better than those people's. Man, Jessica Andrade hits hard. Like, that scares me. I want nothing to do with that. Maybe I want to be on Jasmine live after she gets knocked down and maybe she survives. Or maybe she doesn't survive. Like, that's the scary part because Jessica Andrade hits different. She does hit different. It very, very much makes me afraid. I do think Jasmine wins. I do think she'll get takedowns and she'll ground and pound Jessica Andrade out. And I will say, a bet I like on this fight. Not only do I like Jasmine 2-3 KO, which is like, what is it? Plus 1,200. That's pretty good. Another bet I actually really like. Where is it? Where is it? Where can I find it? How will the fight end? TKO KO. I like that. Because you think you cover with Jessica. I think you cover a lot for Jasmine. I know Jasmine's live to get a sub. I totally get it. And that's basically what you're playing with. But it's like 2 plus 270 plus 275. At those odds. I don't hate it. I think I'm gonna play that, not go crazy with it. I think that's super live to hit, especially with both fighters, Jessica Andrade and Jasmine Justinian. I think that's super live to hit, and I like it. I think that's a good way to play the fight because both these girls are definitely live to finish one another, especially by TKO. So I think that's a good look. If you're a little afraid of the TKO with Jasmine, like the 2-3 I talked about, you can maybe look at Jasmine just 2-3 in general. Just like not as good odds, but still nice. Because women's MMA, they don't think finishers are there usually, so there's that. But I am going with Jasmine. I do think she'll get the takedowns and get like ground and pound. I think elbows. This is how Jasmine works. I think she wants that TKO. I think she has a good chance to get it here. But don't be surprised if a Jessica Andrade upset. It's very, very live here. I don't want to bet against Jasmine in Canada, though. I will say that. She's not a girl I really want to bet against in Canada. So I like to be betting on both sides with that finish by TKO prop. And maybe I'll play the round 2 and round 3 TKO for Jasmine as a very small separate bet with that TKO one. So, yep. That's what I like for that fight. Next I have the card, Mike Malott versus Charles Radtke. I looked into this one, and I will say, I was thinking like, oh man, Charles Radtke's a side. He's a side. I think he's gonna win. The more I looked into it, I'm pretty convinced Mike Malott's gonna win this fight. Charles Radtke's best weapon is that left hook. That left hook is a beauty. It's really good. Um, I don't think he's gonna be in position to even like throw the left hook. That's the problem. Because Mike Malott, when I did his like started doing tape study, the guy's got pretty good distance management. To be fair to him, he does. And with how Charles Radke throws his left hook, he usually has to plant and like throw really hard to make it land and sting as much. Like put out Semmelsberger, pretty bad. Gerber Urbina, pretty bad. I think Mike Malott knows that's coming, and he's going to be prepared for it. He usually has great distance management and sticks at kicking range. Charles Radke, another thing about him, weak to the body. He's very, very weak to the body. One of Mike Malott's best weapons, body kick. And I can't unsee it. I can't unsee a Mike Malott body kick TKO. I think that's super live to happen here. Mike Malott's good. Like I know people are ragging on him against Trevin Giles. He didn't look good, and I agree, he didn't look good. But I think you have to put it in perspective. Context matters so much. I think when you're considering bets and stuff like that, context of some of the fight. Like I'm going to talk about this with the JDM fight, JDM Belal. Context matters, and to explain how these performances happen, like why some things happen in them. It was after that Magny fight where he completely gassed out bad. He did. That's what happened. After winning 2 rounds, by the way, people forget he was looking amazing against Magny, but he gassed. So it looked like he came in trying to be like, okay, I have to get a win. I'm not the youngest guy. I need to get a win so I can get my career back on track and keep going forward. He got that win. He did enough. Trevin Giles really didn't do that much. I know Mike Malott didn't look that great, but Trevin Giles is an all right fighter. But he was looking pretty good against Prates too. So I don't think it's like the worst thing in the world for Malott to not necessarily look so great against Trevin Giles. But I don't think he's gonna let the Canadian fans down this time. I think he's gonna win this fight. I think even in the submission grappling, like Malott on top, I think he's better. I don't think Radke is like all that great. Maybe I think Malott's gonna do better things with his cardio and be smarter with it, as opposed to like the Magny fight where he like completely like gassed out. It's not gonna be that bad if he does gas out, is what I'm saying. And I have to say this again. Against Magny, people are acting like Magny's some bum. He's not. Magny's still really good. Even though he's been losing a bunch of fights now against really, really good competition he's been losing to. And again, Mike Malott was looking incredible against Magny. You can't take that away from Malott. And I think considering that, not too bad. Now, if you look at who Radke's been fighting, let's look at who both of them have been fighting. Mickey Gall, that's not great, but I think it's an all right win. Johan Lainez, I don't think that's a great win. Fugit, it's alright. Magny's pretty alright. He's a gatekeeper. Trevin Giles, nothing crazy, but he's alright, but nothing crazy. Let's look at Radke. Mike Mathetha, Blood Diamond. I know that the circumstances make him more impressive for Radke because I think it was on short notice, but it's like Blood Diamond's terrible. He's terrible. Gilbert Urbina, not good. He's not good. Prates, really good. Prates is really, really good. I know Radke's having some success in that fight, but have to remember with Prates, he gets started slow. He always gets started slow in fights, and he builds up. And I know it's like it happened in round 1, but Prates can build up in round 1 and ends the round pretty big. And that's exactly what happened. Got the knee on Radke, piecing him up. And Matthew Semmelsberger has just been a shell of himself as of like recent years. He's just not looked good at all, just being honest. So it's like both these guys haven't really like fought the best of the best, and like I know Radke's looked better in most of these performances, but like I'm not really that impressed. And I think this is a good buy low spot on Malott. I do. So I'm in on it. Took the odds at -155, and I'm riding with it. I waited for odds to come down because I knew there was a lot of Radke love. I'd say take him now, and hope for the best. I got a belief in Mike Malott to show off in front of the Canadians, and it's the most. Also, I will say this: it's the most MMA thing ever. For it's like, oh, he's gonna gas out again, and then watch him have like the greatest cardio ever. Like that's just how this sport is. Like this, some random stuff is gonna happen. Like, no, this doesn't make any sense. So, yeah, that's what we'll go with. Benoit Saint Denis versus Kyle Prepolek. I'm very, very sad. Alvarez pulled out. I was gonna be on BSD, and he's probably gonna be my biggest bet of the card, but alas, not meant to be. I thought BSD was gonna top time him and win with being on top of Alvarez, while Alvarez fishes for subs and doesn't get them. But yeah, Benoit Saint Denis is gonna win. I'm gonna go round 2 sub. I think Prepolek can like survive a little bit. I'm looking at that like over 1.5 or that 0.5 if you have that. I don't hate that as a look. Let me look here. Benoit Saint Denis over 1.5 plus 150. I don't hate it. I'd maybe like bet it small. I'm not interested in having too much action on this fight. But I do think Benoit Saint Denis is gonna. I haven't even looked into this one that much, but I'm just looking at the odds. I don't think this fight's worth looking too much into. Benoit Saint Denis, I think is just gonna get it done and kind of ragdoll him. Alexa Grasso, Natalia Silva. I am going Natalia Silva. I think she'll win by decision. But I will say this: it's kind of crazy the odds. Like, I think, like as of recent years, like besides the first Shevchenko fight, Natalia Silva is a bigger favorite than Valentina Shevchenko was in the second and third fight. It's kind of crazy to think about. Maybe not so much the third fight because I get why the odds were like that. But in the second fight, Shevchenko was winning like that whole time. Like that was pretty. It's pretty interesting to see the odds like this. I do think Natalia Silva is gonna win. I think she's gonna be doing her thing where she's the movement, side kicks, all gonna work on Grasso, and I think Grasso needs to recreate the Shevchenko moment. Not necessarily like she needs to get the sub, but she needs to get a takedown or something like that, and hold position. Maybe do some ground and pound with a position like that, like catch a kick and work from that. I think that's what Grasso has to do in order to get the win. It's easier said than done in Natalia Silva. But honestly, I don't think it's inconceivable. I don't really want to play Natalia Silva at this number. I'm not too interested. I will say, like, what are the odds on Natalia Silva? Minus 3.5 plus 115. I don't hate that. I don't hate that Natalia Silva. And I think that's probably a good way of playing Natalia Silva because she's probably not going to lose a round with how she fights. She's just such a good minute winner in general. Especially you're not able to get takedowns. So I think that minus 3.5 on Natalia Silva is not a bad look instead of playing your money line. But I'm not crazy about it, even still. I don't think Grasso's super out of this fight, but I do recognize that there's going to be tough parts of this matchup because Natalia Silva's bigger than her. Like, it feels weird because Natalia Silva doesn't feel like the biggest girl in this division now, and she really isn't. But, I mean, Grasso's a former strawweight for a reason. Like, she fought at that weight class because she's not necessarily the biggest girl. But yeah, I'm not too interested in getting a part of this. I have some weird like feelings. Like I don't know. I get weird vibes from this one for some reason. I do not know why. That's horrible capping. I get that, but all the reasons that all my brain tells me is like Natalia Silva probably should like win this pretty clearly and keep Grasso off of her. I think Natalia Silva's takedown defense is pretty good for the most part. I don't think Grasso's is gonna have the takedowns necessary to get it done. But yeah, I will say this though. In the future though, past this fight, Natalia Silva does win. I did say her takedown defense is fine. It's pretty good. It's not good enough for the girls in our main event or co-main event. I would say that. I don't think it's good enough for Manon Fiorot. I don't think it's good enough for Valentina Shevchenko. So I will say that. But I do think the speed, Natalia Silva is going to be able to win the day. I think Grasso is going to be plodding forward and not really find the marks that she's looking for. So, yeah, give me Silva. Jose Aldo versus Ayman Zahabi. Man, gave me Ayman Zahabi. Call me crazy. YK. No. I'll go decision. But honestly, I kind of want to play Ayman KO for like a meme. but I probably won't. What I probably will do instead is maybe play Ayman Zahabi. What was it? Fighter wins inside the distance only, like plus 130. It's plus money, so I don't mind putting like a small bet on that just for funsies. Because I just think it's like the funniest thing is like, well, I don't really want this because like we love Aldo. Aldo's awesome. It's like Zahabi just KOs him. Like that's just so crazy to me. It doesn't feel real, which is why I kind of want to play it for the memes. But as a real thing, as a real pick, I will say this: Aldo looked terrible on the scales today. He looked awful. Not to mention he basically missed by a weight class, and now the fight's at 145 now. Advantage to Aldo, but looking at how he looked at the scales, maybe he's sick. Maybe he has something on him. And when I saw that, I was like, I'm gonna put a small play on Zahabi, and I ended up doing that. I think Zahabi's super live to win this fight. Something about Zahabi and why I don't actually think I hate this like finish only bet for Zahabi. The guy's defense is really good. He's really good. And something else to mention about Zahabi: great game plans coming into fights. He's Firas Zahabi's brother. They're always gonna come in with great game plans. I think you can trust that in the pro Canada crowd that's gonna be rooting for him. I think Zahabi's super live to win this fight in front of the fans. He's a Montreal guy, so they're all gonna be rooting for him. Maybe they'll probably root for Aldo too, because Aldo's a legend. But Ayman Zahabi, it got a lot of cheers at the press conference, so shout out to him. I've really turned to like this guy a lot. I had money on him against Pedro Munoz because I thought Pedro Munoz is just not the same guy. I don't think Aldo's the same guy, to be honest with you. It's very possible that this could be like a very, very, very close decision where both guys just don't land much and don't do much. It's very, very possible. And but because of that, I'd rather be on the Canadian that's plus money, who's I think is like very live to win, younger. I don't really think Aldo's gonna be able to get off like the things he needs to necessarily to like dominate. So yeah, give me Ayman Zahabi. I think he'll come in with a game plan, a good game plan. I think he can outstrike Aldo and do well, and like outstrike Aldo as in like he's not gonna. I don't think Zahabi's really gonna get hit too much because again, his defense is really good, very underrated aspect of his game. I don't think people are talking about. But yeah, give me Zahabi to win. Valentina Shevchenko versus Belal Fierro. I have a lot to say about this fight. I am so hyped for this. This is my most hyped fight for 2025, especially women's MMA, but like just in general, everything. Oh my god, I'm so hyped for this fight. This is a true, in my opinion, true 50-50 fight. I really don't know who wins. I really don't know who wins. I know which side I'm gonna be picking, but like genuinely, I have no clue. I both are super live to win, and it's like I'm not confident. And I felt this way going into this year as well. And if you saw that, like I said, that I talked about earlier, the beginning of the year video I had, where it's like I went over awards and stuff like that last year, and like, I made some bets with, I was like, who's gonna be champion at the end of the year? I bet on both Valentina Shevchenko and Belal Fierro. They're both plus money, so I was like, I'm pretty convinced whoever wins this fight is gonna be a long-time champion. They're going to be here for, at the very least, the rest of the year. At the very least. Both these girls are really good. And I think they're just levels above the rest of the women's flyweight division. I've been wanting this fight for so long. Belal Fierro has been deserving this opportunity for so long. She's been deserving this since before Islam Makhachev has been champion. She deserved it in UFC 280, which is the time when Islam Makhachev won the belt. But that's when Fierro beat Chookagian at the time. And then she had to defend her number one contender spot multiple times against Rose Namajunas and then Erin Blanchfield. When she's been worthy this whole time, it's just they wanted to let's get Grosso the fight so Shevchenko can be busy. But as a result, the whole trilogy happened, and injuries happened, a long, prolonged wait. Belal Fierro came into their third fight as a backup. She secured her spot. She's been so deserving of this opportunity, and I'm very, very happy for her to be getting this against a Hall of Famer, and Valentina Shevchenko is one of the greatest of all time. So like this fight has been in the making for so long, and I'm so happy that Valentina's champion, not Alexa, because like Menon it wouldn't be fun to watch her against Grosso. Grosso wouldn't really have much of a chance because because of the size difference. The size difference is too much. And I know like she does have a size difference against Valentina Shevchenko too. Manon Fiorot is huge. And like, yeah, let's just get into the matchup. Like, I'll go between each girl. Let me talk about Manon Fiorot first. Incredible distance management striking. That's her best part of her game. She's absolutely really good at keeping distance, striking, and getting out and fighting her fight. That's what Manon Fiorot is really good at. Like, that's the best part of her game. Like, the karate style, them side kicks. Oh, what a beauty. They're very good. And, like, it's good to be able to keep on the feet with that. Luckily for Manon Fiorot, I think I'm going to make a statement here. Because off the top of my head, I think I can make the statement. I think Manon Fiorot has the best takedown defense in women's MMA. I mean, who else? Her takedown defense is incredible. I don't think Valentina is going to be able to get takedowns in this fight, to be honest with you. I'm hearing a lot of people say, oh, Valentina's going to take her down, no problem. Are you sure? Honestly, I think if anyone's going to get takedowns in this fight, it's going to be Manon Fiorot. We've seen Manon Fiorot take down a bunch of different girls. Let's go through UFC stats real quick. Just bring it up. Manon Fiorot, the beast. Erin Blanchfield tried 3 different takedowns, but at the same time, was it really 3? Because when we were watching that fight back, Erin Blanchfield just coming forward, and she's not able to even get to Manon Fiorot to get takedowns. She was trying to take her down the whole time. It just didn't happen. It didn't happen. And Manon Fiorot was the only one to really try a takedown and slammed Erin Blanchfield. Got put in a scary position as a result because Blanchfield's a really good grappler. But Manon Fiorot fought through it well and survived, no problem, and won that fight easy. I thought she won that fight clear as day. Rose Namajunas shot a few takedowns of her own. 6 takedowns on Manon Fiorot. Nothing. Manon Fiorot shot 1. Didn't really get anything. Rose has pretty good takedown defense of herself. Can't be too mad at that. Chookagian. Manon Fiorot won shooting on Chookagian or Seminara. Not at the time she was Chookagian. Interesting. Jennifer Maia, a really good jiu-jitsu practitioner. Who has more takedowns? Manon Fiorot. She does not care. She's willing to take you down. And Jennifer Maia gets one real quick. But if you look at that takedown she got, it's just for like a second, and Manon Fiorot was back up. Manon Fiorot was back up. No problem. Maya Bueno Silva, not even willing to shoot. I don't know. The MBS is not good. But she's a huge girl. Manon Fiorot gets 2 takedowns on a girl who has really good jiu-jitsu. She's willing to do it. Against Tabitha Ricci. I mean, I don't really care that much on that, and as well as Victoria Leonardo, because I think Tabitha Ricci was on short notice. It's not a bad win in hindsight still, but yeah, and Leonardo is what it is. But like, she has one of the most underrated resumes in like MMA, just in general. Because people don't talk about Manon Fiorot. Like, just looking at the names, forget Victoria Leonardo, but like Tabitha Ricci, I know the circumstances weren't great, but still, that's a good win that ages well. Marion Bueno Silva fought for a belt. Jennifer Maia, I think she's like the double champ in Invicta now. Seminara or Chookagian at the time, who's always been like a prolific winner in this flyweight division, has always been number 2 to Shevchenko for a long time. And who was the one who beat her after like Andrade? After Andrade beat her and she went on a run, it was Manon Fiorot. Impressive. Rose Namajunas, who was coming off of a loss for the belt, beats her. Erin Blanchfield, who people say is the future of the division, she beats her easy. Now she's fighting Valentina Shevchenko. I mean, like, I'm so excited. Like, I'm sure you could tell, like, just how hyped I am for this fight. Like, oh, I'm giddy. I'm giddy for it. I have a lot more to even talk about. Let me just bring up Tapology again. Here we go. Next thing I want to bring up. So, yeah, she has good wrestling of her own. She can absolutely wrestle, and I'm convinced she's the only one who's going to have any wrestling success in this fight. But is she gonna be really willing to do that? I'm not so sure. Maybe there's gonna be some points she's always willing to do it, but it's gonna be like the main focus. Probably not. I will say this though. I mean, I'll probably mention this again at the end, but because I talk about significant strikes and more takedowns, I'll say this here. I wasn't planning on betting this fight at all because I already have my end of year bet. I make profit no matter what happens. If like both these girls, one of these girls stays champ. More takedowns, Manon Fiorot. I'm convinced that at the very least it's gonna tie. At the very least it's gonna tie, and like if it's both 0-0, this is what it is. You get your money back. Make sure you do one that's like where you get your money back. But Manon can absolutely take down Valentina Shevchenko. I know a lot of people were thinking otherwise. I think that's gonna. It depends on the odds. You only want to play this at plus money. If it's not plus money, I don't think it's worth it. We're under 3.5 takedowns of Valentina Shevchenko. I saw that in the book out there. I think that's a really good bet because again, I don't think Valentina's really gonna be getting much takedowns, if any. Yeah, and if you get good odds in that, that's 100% worth the bet, and I think that's value, and that's probably how I'm only gonna be looking to play this fight. Other than the bets I already have. Oh yeah, already mentioned Manon Fiorot is huge for the division. She's practically a bantamweight. She is huge. You can't take that away from Manon Fiorot. A lot bigger than Shevchenko. Something else to mention about Manon Fiorot. She's been waiting for this big opportunity. Now is her chance, and in front of a crowd that's speak French. I mean, I don't even know if she's gonna be cheered. Actually, probably Valentina's gonna be cheered. To be honest with you, pro French crowd though, I guess. But she's waiting for this opportunity. She's probably looking at Shevchenko for a long time, preparing for her. So that's something to consider. And yeah, she's had a lot of time to prepare. Now to Valentina Shevchenko. You hear me say, this is a 50-50 fight. Yeah, I outright said, Manon Fiorot she's not getting taken down, and Valentina's not getting any takedowns. How can I say it's a 50-50 fight? How can I say that? She has this is one of her best parts of her game. Yeah, it is one of her best parts of the game. But Valentina Shevchenko is a great striker still. She is still an absolutely great striker. I love the striking on display against Grasso, and I thought she looked incredible, especially in the third fight. I know she wrestled for the majority of that, but on the moments that were on the feet, she looked on point. She still was fast. And with Valentina Shevchenko, I know there's some concerns about like motivation or whatever. You don't have to worry about that with Valentina Shevchenko. Why? Lifelong mixed martial artist, like martial artist. I'm not even pronouncing it the way she does, but that's very much true with Valentina Shevchenko. You don't have to worry about motivation, stuff like that. She's always coming in to fight, and she's always coming in to win. Don't have to worry about that whatsoever. But yeah, her striking is really good. She absolutely can compete with Manon Fiorot on the feet. And something to mention, I mentioned that Manon Fiorot is a 135. Like not 135er, but like she's got the size of a 135er. Well, Valentina Shevchenko just so happened to compete at 135 for a good amount of time. And this is why I want to say this, like Valentina Shevchenko is Manon Fiorot's toughest fight at 125. It's the same thing. Manon Fiorot is Valentina Shevchenko's toughest fight at 125. They're both their toughest fights at 125. And it's part of why I'm so hyped for this fight. Because it's the best of the best challenging one another to see who's the best in the world. I love it. But she's fought bigger girls. She's fought Nunes multiple times and arguably won those fights. She fights with those girls and she absolutely competes with them. So I think she absolutely can strike with Manon Fiorot on the feet. Absolutely can. And she's still like one of the best to ever do it. She has all the experience in the world in these title fights. There's no taking away the experience that Valentina Shevchenko has in these fights. Maybe like there's a cardio dump in Manon Fiorot. I doubt it. I think her cardio is completely fine. She had a great weight cut this time around. Like last time against Blanchfield, she wasn't looking so good, but that didn't really end up mattering for that fight. But she looked great in the scales this time. But yeah, maybe there's cardio concerns-ish because she's not been at like a championship fight, but like I don't have any concerns with that whatsoever. But yeah, championship experience does matter. I think it's something to consider for Valentina Shevchenko. Also, something I do want to mention in Mano Fiorot that's like a downside with her. She is susceptible to head kicks. She is very susceptible to head kicks, surprisingly. You can find some clips of her getting head kicked by Jennifer Maia, by Erin Blanchfield, flush. And if the fight plays out how I think it is, where I think, look, I'm super excited for this fight, but I'm excited for it because it's high level. It's super high level. Doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be the most exciting fight ever. I'm hyped for the fight. Doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be the most exciting fight, but go in expecting a technical match where both girls are going to try to do what they have to do to win. It might not be the most entertaining, but it's going to be, they have to do what they have to do to win. A head kick like Valentina can land can absolutely sway around towards Valentina. I mean, Menal has taken the head kicks very well. She's taken them very well, but she is susceptible. She can get hit by head kicks, and I have to mention that. So I think that's an important factor to consider. Because I mean, off the top of my head, oh my God, Shevchenko KOing Jessica Ai. To be fair, Shevchenko doesn't really KO people too often. But I think that's absolutely something to consider in this fight. I think that like absolutely can like sway rounds to Shevchenko's favor. Maybe if like Manon Fiorot like trips or something like that, Valentina can get on top and control her. But even then, I have trouble seeing that because I think Manon Fiorot will get up really quick. Because again, her takedown defense is really good. Her get-ups are also really good, as shown in the Jennifer Maia fight. So I think those are to be considered. So pick-wise, again, I have very little confidence. This is as 50-50 as it gets for me. Like I'm not convinced at all. I'm gonna go Manon Fiorot and New. Again, not confident at all. I'll go decision. The only tipping point that makes me go towards Manon Fiorot over Shevchenko is because I just don't think she's gonna get taken down, and I think she's gonna have success with takedowns if she goes through with it, which I think she probably will at one point. Like, they get tied up. She had a sick judo throw on Jennifer Maia. Absolutely could go like that. So I think that's why I'm going Manon Fiorot. But if Shevchenko wins, I'm not shocked at all. I've never picked against Shevchenko. I've never picked against Manon Fiorot. Both these girls are the creme of the creme in the division. They're both super good. Zhang Weili comes up. Both these girls beat him, especially Manon Fiorot. Like, Manon is just too big for Zhang Weili, especially. Natalia Silva, I think both of them will have wrestling success against Natalia Silva and win. Macy Barber, I really think they're gonna have Macy Barber's gonna be able to do what she usually does, like bully people against Shevchenko or Manon Fiorot. I don't think that's really gonna be happening in that fight. Blanchfield, I mean, we saw what Manon did. I think Shevchenko would do a good job at keeping it on the feet and just outstriking her and keeping herself safe on the ground. Grasso, don't really have to say much about that. I think these girls are just the best in the division. I'm very excited. I hope there's a rematch. Whoever wins, I hope there's a rematch. If Valentina wins, probably no rematch. But Manon wins, very possible rematch happens. Yeah, I'm very, very excited. So I hope you are excited as much as me. So yeah, Belal Muhammad versus Jack Della Maddalena. This is tough, but I am gonna go JDM. I have a small bet on JDM. Okay, I run 2. This is the thing where I mentioned earlier, it was like context matters. Let's put some context in the JDM's like wins against Basil Hafez. Split decision. First off, he clearly won the fight. I thought he won like all the rounds, to be honest, at least the last 2. But this is JDM off for like 2 weight cuts. Like yeah, they have to consider that. And also, the only reason why it was really close, JDM just kept pulling guillotine. It was some of the worst fight IQ I've ever seen. Has he done that since? No, he hasn't. He's not going to do that here. So you don't have to worry about that at all with JDM. I don't think he's going to be doing that. And so I think those are things to consider. Otherwise, he pretty clearly won. Kevin Holland, I thought he pretty clearly won this fight, but I mean, not much to discuss there. I thought he looked really good there. Gilbert Burns, I know a lot of people are bringing up, oh, Gilbert Burns is up 2-0 on the judging scorecards. Yes, it was. But if you like watch back the fight, there's a really good argument is 2-0 JDM. You can have 2-0 Gilbert Burns or 2-0 JDM. Both those scorecards are like fair, honestly. Like I was like having so much trouble scoring it. It was a really close fight. So I think people were getting bogged down in that. It's like, oh man, he was down 2-0 to Gilbert Burns. I don't know. It was very close. But and also something else to mention in round one, JDM's arm broke. He beat Gilbert Burns with a broken arm. Which makes it even more impressive. And even more impressive is how he survived down on the ground. He has really good counter grappling, which I think is just something you have to mention. JDM is really good on the ground, surprisingly. Like I don't think people really know that. Belal, it made me eat a lot of crow in his last fight against Leon Edwards. I was very, very confident in Leon Edwards. Even then, some surprisingly close fight. 35-year-old curse, I think, does matter. Although it's like I don't consider that as much. But you have to mention, like, he is older. I think it's worth mentioning. JDM in his prime, he's a pretty big welterweight himself. JDM. I think the boxing, like, Belal has to be very careful. I think Belal still is a little chitty, to be honest with you, and he doesn't want to get hit by those shots with JDM. Yeah, I mean, there's no denying JDM's boxing. It's a thing of beauty. He's a really good boxer. I know people were expecting Belal to be able to wrestle and get JDM down and do his thing, do what Belal Muhammad does. But I think JDM can be able to compete, and I think will find moments to get up. I think his get-ups are pretty all right. Takedown defense not necessarily the best, but I think the get-ups are all right. I like the hardware JDM has. I think he knows what's coming up. Training with Craig Jones this camp. Volkanovski just won. He's got all the motivation of Australia on his side. I think JDM's live to win this. I think he gets it done. Yeah, I still not crazy about Belal. I think the odds are crazy. Not so much anymore. I think they're more fair. But it's like when I got them, were pretty crazy. I was like, how has Belal been this much of a dog in all these fights, and now he's like minus 200 or whatever? Not the odds anymore. Like those odds were ridiculous. I get it. Belal has a clear path, but I think JDM can also win off moments on the feet. Like get up one, like Leon Edwards in round 5, not going necessarily his way. Last moments of round 5, he steals the round back. Sure, he didn't do enough in the other rounds, but surprisingly close considering round 3 he won off control of Belal, and round 5 he put a beating on Belal towards the end. So I think those are things to consider. I think JDM has a lot of dog in him, and he think he's gonna try to really put it on Belal. So I think that's what's going to happen. I think JDM's going to be and new. So yeah, those are my picks. Let's go over significant strikes as well as more takedowns and what I like on all these fights from that aspect. Brad Katona, Beksat Almakhan. Katona more 6 strikes I think is pretty good look. I'm actually very, very curious what those odds will be, and if it's plus money, I'm definitely betting it. I think that's going to be a really good bet, especially if it's plus money for Brad Katona. And I think more takedowns, I would probably lean Katona as well. But yeah, more 6 strikes, I think this is that's very worth betting, especially if it's plus money. Danny Santos, Young Lee. I don't know. The 6 strike thing is tough for me. I think this is a tough one for me for 6 strikes and more takedowns, because I think you can make arguments for both sides. Maybe more takedowns that go with Young Lee, because maybe he's more willing to take the path of least resistance. I mean, I know it's crazy to say that against a shoot the box fighter who's got really good jiu-jitsu, but Korean Tiger can grapple too. But I think that's something to mention. I know Danny Santos does have good volume, so 6 strikes wise, I kind of don't want anything to do with that part. Marc-Andre Barriault, Bruno Silva. Marc-Andre Barriault, more significant strikes. I think it's pretty safe. Marc-Andre Barriault, more takedowns. I think that's pretty safe too. Bruno Silva is not necessarily the most volume. He doesn't have the most volume in the world anyway. So, yeah. Marc-Andre Barriault for both those. Navas or Urslan. I don't know about takedowns, but more significant strikes. Probably Navajo, to be honest. I think he's a better striker overall. But this is Bukowski's Kutelaba. I guess Kutelaba more takedowns, more significant strikes. If the fight ends early, probably Kutelaba. But if the fight goes long, if you think it goes long, I would guess Bukowski's maybe, but no confidence in that. Jasmine Jasavicius, Jessica Andrade, probably more takedowns for sure. Jasmine, I think that's pretty safe. And then Jasmine, more significant strikes I would lean to, because if it goes how I think it goes, she's gonna take Andrade down and land big blows. But I will say this: if Jessica just lands big and just lands big on Jasmine, I mean, she could just put her out and win you the 6 strike bet. So I kind of want anything to do with the 6 strike bet personally. More takedown bet's probably gonna be nasty odds anyway, so it's probably not worth it. Mike Malott, Charles Radke. I'd lean more significant strikes Malott, but it's not something I'm crazy about. But I think the range, like I mentioned, the kicking range, maintain that range is gonna keep him from getting hit too much. And more takedowns, probably Malott, but I can see maybe Rodkey try to get Malott tired and take him down, but I still leave Malott. BSD, both 6 strikes, takedowns. Don't need much to say there. Natalia Silva, more 6 strikes for sure. More takedowns. I think Gross is probably a good look because I think she's going to be the one more looking to get takedowns in this fight. So I think Gross and more takedowns is not a bad look. Zahabi, although I'll go Zahabi more 6 strikes because, again, his defense is really, really good, and I'll just trust in that. More takedowns, probably Zahabi. Aldo's not shooting no takedowns. He's not shooting no takedowns. Zahabi probably isn't either. But I had to choose one. Probably Zahabi, even though... maybe not. No. I won't say that because Aldo's takedown defense is really good. So maybe he could take the back and bring Zahabi down. So forget I said that. No takedowns for either of them. Valentina Shevchenko, Manon Fiorot. Significant strikes. I have zero confidence in either of them. I think both can absolutely win that bet. I don't know. It's tough. More takedowns, though. Manon Fiorot. I think that's the way to play this fight, especially if it's plus money on that. And Belal, JDM. If it goes how I think it goes, where JDM wins, more 6 strikes, JDM. More takedowns, probably Belal. I doubt Jack Della Maddalena is going to be going for any takedowns. So, yeah. There we go. That's my breakdown. Thank you so much for watching. You can check me out at BetMeThatTips, Champ Bets. And yeah, I'm probably going to be going back to, very likely going to be back to my old setup for next week. And yeah, hopefully this week goes well. And see you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching.